Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a review here for What My Kindle Told Me was Volume 3 of the Donny Cates run of Venom. And it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's issues 13 through 15, and they're written by Colin Bunn, which I thought was super weird. And I thought maybe this was from, his run, right? No, it's not. That's part of this Donny Cates at the time current run. It is the 13th through 15th issue of his, and ties into some event that happened that I've never heard of. I've heard of a lot of offshoot obscure events that I don't really think kind of are events, like Venomverse or Edge of Venomverse or anything like that. This is apparently a thing called War of the Realms, and that's what this particular volume is also subtitled. And it's essentially Asgard has declared they're going to have a fight with Earth. And it's like an alien invasion movie, but with Asgardians and frost giants and all of that shit. So, this is the thing. This is 3 issues. It's 13 through 15, like I said. And overall, it's about 110 pages in total. The art is done by... Hold on, let me pick up my Kindle here so I can actually read it. Iban Coelho, who was in the previous volume, Volume 2 that I reviewed, Alberto Albuquerque, and Roberto Poggi, who I guess they both worked on number 3 of the issues, or whatever that says. Anyway, I think this book fucking sucked. I think it's an interesting idea for a concept for an event, and I kind of want to check out War of the Realms if it's actually available anywhere. But the art was fairly consistent with Volume 2 and Volume 1 of Donny Cates' run, which makes sense. And it, completely changes towards the end. Not because of a brand new issue, which it does have that. There is, a thing in here called Web of Venom, Cult of Carnage, which was... I don't know about that. I don't know about that actual story, if it's a standalone issue, or if it's an actual event called Cult of Carnage. Never heard of it, like I said. Big fan of symbiotes, been reading off and on over the recent years. Never heard of Cult of Carnage. It sounds cool, but the issue that I got to read was fucking horrible. Anyway, going back to the book, though. Eddie Brock, like I said in Volume 2, the Donny Cates run gave him a kid that he never knew about. The kid does not know that Eddie is his dad. He thinks he's just his older brother. And basically, Eddie takes the kid and is trying to protect him and hide him during this Asgardian invasion. He basically puts the kid in a warehouse, but like I complained about in Volume 2, everything I was worried about this kid happened in this book. This whole thing of Eddie doesn't even have the symbiote anymore. It left him at the end of Volume 2 and brought the kid back to Eddie to protect him in the hospital. Or not hospital. Or was it a hospital? I don't know. It's been a few days since I read this because I've been sick. I had sick brain. Excuse me. Anyway, Eddie doesn't have the symbiote anymore. He's just Eddie Brock. Then he has his son who doesn't know he's his son, and that's it. That's all you have going for this. And now you have this Asgardian invasion. And one of the witches that shows up has eyeballs in her hair and shit. She decides to let Venom work with them as long as he dedicates himself to them. And she gives him this stone that can turn into anything he wants. And it basically turns into a new faux symbiote costume that's Asgardian. It has all these Asgardian symbols written around it and stuff. And I think it looks like shit. It looks like if Doomsday from DC got to be a Venom symbiote, that's what it looks like. It has spikes all over it, same shade as Doomsday, the color of his skin, that gray color. And Eddie basically is in full control. He doesn't talk like we anymore. He says I this, I that. And he tries to defend his little brother, who he puts away in a warehouse while everything is being set on fire because of the crazy shit happening outside. Now, one villain I've always liked the look of, but never really liked as a character, who is a little bit better in the Remender run, is Jack-O-Lantern. Jack-O-Lantern's an old character from Spider-Man lore and history, and he's in this quite a bit. And the same fucking thing happens to him. and it's awful. It's awful, dude. Having Jack-o'-lantern have like the equivalent of an Asgardian fake symbiote with a stone, having all these abilities, he comes in almost like the Green Goblin, but flying on a dragon. It might sound cool. It's terrible. It's just fucking bad. It's bad in general. The art is not bad for most of the issues in here. Like I said, towards the end of the War of the Realms arc in this book, it gets a little rough. The Cult of Carnage art is horrible. I'll get to the Cult of Carnage story in a moment, but War of the Realms, man, it's one of these offshoot kind of sideline things that ruin runs of comics, you know? That's what this is, and I don't like what was done here at all, to be honest with you. I don't know why Cullen Bunn wrote this. I'm not impressed with Cullen Bunn to begin with. I know he's all over the place at Marvel. Some of the Venom fans seem to like him. As soon as he took over for Flash Thompson's Venom, I was not a fan. I think that he did the Space Knight stuff too, if I remember correctly. I haven't read that, but I didn't like what he did with Venom after Remender. I don't like his little sidekick Venom chick with the stupid fucking haircut even when the symbiote has, become her costume and whatever. I don't like anything I've seen Cullen Bunn do so far, basically. I don't like how he writes Flash Thompson. Just not a fan. Him writing this, if you aren't a fan either, you're gonna recognize already how obnoxious and just weird the story is written. It just feels like it's so by the numbers, but at the same time so retarded at the same time. I don't get it, man. I'm just not feeling Cullen Bunn's work. Maybe I haven't read everything from his run on Venom, but what I have read, dude, I just don't like. It's one of the reasons I stopped buying the books for a long time until I heard about Donny Cates' run being so good. Anyway, let's get on to the Cult of Carnage story. Essentially, Cult of Carnage was about a chick looking for John Jameson in a small town who he vanished. And when she finds him, he's completely naked in this terrible drawn comic. And essentially, the Carnage symbiote, or I guess Carnage himself, has come in and possessed everybody around, and they're different looks of Carnage, but not really. They wear monk robes and shit. Yeah, you can imagine how bad the story was. They hide out in a church where they drew the spiral of Null, the symbol. And they keep saying, God is coming, like they did in the first issue of Donny Cates' run. But then, at the end of the issue, they're like, God is already here. He's not coming. What? It sucks, man. I'm not even going to go too far into that, but it's awful. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen done with Carnage. The idea of Carnage having a cult sounds kind of cool. I don't know if this is going to kick off, maybe the real volume 3 of Donny Cates' run. Maybe they'll bring in a cult of Carnage, have him trying to take over the world. I don't know. Maybe they're going to do that. I haven't heard anything about that. Never heard of a storyline or event called Cult of Carnage, even though it sounds awesome. It sounds like Cult of Chucky to me. Even though they haven't done that yet, that could be cool, number one. But number two, I hated this comic issue. It was horrible. But at the end of the day, this was a horrible book. It should not be advertised as Volume 3 unless it truly has to, I guess, a Volume 4, or the real Volume 3 as I'm going to call it for Donny Cates' run. If that ties into this at all, I would be surprised. But for Eddie himself, nothing really special happened here. Even with the faux symbiote costume from the witches. None of that impressed me. And I don't think it was particularly drawn that well either, to be honest with you. It was just a really big fucking mess, and I'm pissed about it. Because it feels like one of those things, again, where you interrupt somebody's run with such lackluster, bad work that just didn't need to be there. And having Cullen Bunn write it too is a fucking mistake. So anyway, Venom Volume 3, or whatever this is, Venom War of the Realms, whatever this book is supposed to be called, would I recommend it to anybody? Hell no. Hell no. At one point, Venom is running around with a fucking battle axe. Yeah. That's how bad this gets, man. Anyway, have you read it? What do you think about it? What did you think about the Cult of Carnage issue, or the War of the Realms, or any of that stuff? I don't even think I mentioned that The writer of the Cult of Carnage thing was Frank Thierry, I think is what the name is. Yeah. And the artist was Danilo S. Beyruth. I don't know who the fuck that is. Who cares? It was terrible. The whole book was fucking bad. I wish I hadn't read this shit. Anyway, let me know what you think about it down below. Did you hate all of it too? Is it the worst thing of Venom you've ever read? It's very possible that it is for me. And I've read a lot of bad Venom shit, being a diehard fan. But this is bad, dude. This is fucking bad. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.